Hey everybody, it's Dr. Eric Shoemake. I want to talk to you today about the subject of your immune system, and specifically something that's going on in California regarding vaccines right now. If you value your medical freedom, then you need to pay attention today, because as some of you know that they just passed a law a couple of weeks ago in California that got rid of any personal exemptions for kids. So now if you don't want your child to be vaccinated or want to vaccinate them less than everybody else that the government tells you that it should be done, they've actually taken that right away from parents in California now. So they're trying to fight that bill, but if it stands, then that's going to spread to the rest of the country. And they're not going to stop at kids, because there's another bill that just passed starting in September 1st. They're going to start making adults be forced to be vaccinated if you work around kids. So an MMR shot, a DPT shot, and a flu shot. Whether you're pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine, you can't tell me that that's right. That they're going to force you to do that again, and if you don't, then there's going to be actual criminal penalties. And what that looks like, if it spreads to the rest of the country, then someone like me as a chiropractor, for me to get my license, I would have to be vaccinated against these diseases. Or if you go to get your driver's license, they would say, here's what you have to put in your bloodstream, including a flu shot or whatever else. So here's the problem when it comes to those vaccines. I'm not doing an anti-vaccine video. I'm doing a pro-health video, okay? And what I want to talk to you about today is why this is such a big deal to you and your family and your friends. And if you know anybody that lives in Colorado, California, or actually anywhere else in the United States, forward this video, because you need to understand this when it comes down to your immune system. So the first thing here is, why are they making such a big deal out of this? Some of you saw that there was a measles outbreak at Disney World. This is at the end of last year, and they were saying it was because of unvaccinated people. Well, here's one problem. A lot of people that had the vaccine got the measles, so it wasn't all that effective. But on top of that, they're saying that now we want to stop these measles outbreaks. I was just talking to a patient about that today. She's like, are you talking about the measles that we used to try to get on purpose when I was a kid? Like we would want measles. We would want our kids to get measles when they were young because it wasn't a big deal. But now it's become this huge deal. Why is it such a big deal? Well, whenever things don't start to add up, you have to look at one thing, which is money. The reason this is a big deal is because the vaccine manufacturers are poised to take it from a $30 billion industry to a $100 billion industry if everybody now has to get a measles vaccine. So there's obviously money behind it. This is not about your health and the health of all your kids. Measles is a self-limiting mild disease, just like almost all the other diseases. Chickenpox, right? So now there's chickenpox vaccines that are being made from aborted human fetal tissue. And what are they vaccinating your kids against? A disease that we all used to get, and if you get it when you're a kid, then you're immune for the rest of your life. Now that the kids get the vaccine, the chickenpox vaccine, they're basically immune to it for 5 or 6 years, but then they're far more likely to get shingles as an adult as a result of it. So you got to pay attention to where the issues are coming from. In this case, it's a huge financial thing when it comes to the pharmaceutical companies. Number two, you got to ask this question: what's in a vaccine? I just talked about a lot of them have what's called human diploid cells, which is from aborted human fetal tissue. You also have mercury that's still in a lot of them, especially flu shots, thimerosal, which is ethyl mercury, which has been shown to be incredibly toxic to your brain, and a lot of other issues been linked to autism. And then you have things like formaldehyde, you have things like aluminum, polysorbate 80, MSG, all these additives that have to go into the vaccines. And you got to ask yourself the question, if there were such a thing as if vaccines were safe, would they make flu shots or any other shot without all of those additives in them? And the problem is they can't make them because they're necessary for the vaccine itself, okay? So what's in a vaccine? We're actually going to send a link in this email where you can check and see what's in the vaccines that they're recommending for you or the people around you. And then this is number three, and this is really the big one. Vaccines stimulate the wrong immune system when it comes to long-term immunity. There's two different immune systems, two different branches of your immune system. One of them is called the Th2 response, and one of them is called the Th1 response. So the way a normal immunity works is that you get exposed to some pathogen or some germ. Okay, so let's say it's chickenpox. So you get exposed to chickenpox, and the Th1 response gets triggered, which is a normal, natural response of your body. And it says, okay, we have to make antibodies against this virus in this case, so that we're immune to it for the rest of our life. Same thing that happens with measles or mumps or anything else like that. So the Th1 response then talks to this Th2 arm of the immune system, and the Th2 actually makes the antibodies. And it's this nice smooth process to where you get the chickenpox virus, you have chickenpox, it stimulates the Th2 response, you make antibodies, and you never get chickenpox again the rest of your life, okay? That's the way it should work. But when you get a vaccine, vaccines stimulate the Th2 response. They skip the Th1 response. So you have this Th2 response over here to where now your immune system basically freaks out all the time. So you get this overstimulation of their immune system. And nobody's saying that vaccines don't work. They work in this temporary immune system response called the Th2. So now you have this immunity against whatever you're dealing with, whatever vaccine they gave you, whatever germ it was. You're immune for 3 or 4 or 5 years, and then you have to get a what? A booster. That's why have people get flu shots every year. It's not lifelong immune system or immunity because it doesn't work from the Th1 to Th2 response. It just stimulates this one. So why is that a big deal? If you have an immune system that's chronically freaked out all the time, what does that sound like? That's autoimmune disease. And you see autoimmune diseases right now have gone through the roof. In the United States, we're talking about MS, multiple sclerosis, lupus, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, eczema, psoriatic arthritis, psoriasis, different types of allergies. All of these things are actually going through the roof because we have these immune systems that no longer work normally. And I want to tell you this, just to wrap this whole issue up, you can't just ignore the fact that the way your immune system works, just like you can't ignore the way a relationship works or anything else. If I get married to my wife and somebody says there's a quick fix for your marriage, just get her flowers once a week, or if you're overweight and you want to be fit, or you're out of shape and you want to be fit, there's no magic pill to take, just like there's no magic bullet when it comes to your immune system. You have to have a strong immune system that works. That's the key to not getting the flu, not getting chickenpox, or not getting any shingles, is having a strong immune system. So how do you do that? That's what we're going to be teaching you at our Bulletproof Immune System workshop coming up here in a few weeks now in August. And we're going to have this forum where we go through what it takes to build a strong immune system. We're going to take you through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps of building a bulletproof immune system so you never have to worry about the flu or have to worry about any of this nonsense or anything else, because we're going to teach you how to tap into true immunity. So what you'll be paying attention to in these next few videos that come out, the next week we're going to do one on leaky gut and the autoimmune diseases that I just talked about. We're going to take you through those. We're also going to take you through things like fever and bust some myths that you've believed about your immune system that may be making you sick and making your family sick. So we can't wait to see you on August 18th for the Bulletproof Immune System workshop.